done. Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yianni Diakomihalis from Cornell, 4-time national champion, just the 5th ever. Yianni, I would ask your thoughts and feelings, but this is the 4th time you've done this. What are the nerves like after 4 times? Is it just a walk in the park for you?
No, I mean, I'm in a very tough weight class. I'm wrestling some really quality guys. And they're coming to get me, and that's what they should do, right? There's some really special people in my life that I wouldn't be here without. Like my dad, Mike Gray. You guys saw the letter from my mom, my brothers. Vito Wrestlado is mine. I mean, I could sit here and talk for 30 minutes about all those people. The people who think this is me, I'm just the face. I mean, there's so many people that push me through it. I don't even know what kind of person I'd be without those people.
Well said. We'll open it up.
Yianni, your 4 times is unique in that you had a 2-year gap between you had two-year gap and then 2. How difficult was it to want to come back and go for those final 2?
I mean, it's tough. I see people telling me I'm old and it's an advantage. It's tough. College wrestling is very hard. 6 years of it beats you up. I've had more surgeries than I can count on both my hands, and that doesn't even count into the injuries I've had without surgeries. It's been a really tough road. It's been a lot, and like I just keep talking about it. There's the people around me that are keeping me on this path. They're doing a lot more of the work than I am. My dad's the one who's probably hasn't slept a minute since I've been here. Mike's the one who is spending time away from his family to answer my stupid phone calls about a position that we're going to work on in practice in 5 hours. I mean, there's just, it's so much the other people. And I just can't express enough. I'm just the guy you see.
Yianni, you know all the 4 previous guys, Pat, Kel, Kyle, and Logan. How much are you alike them? How different are you than they are?
I would say I'm different in my own way, and I think that's true about any great wrestler. The reason they're great is because they're different. Jordan Burroughs is great because he's different. Kyle Dave is great because he's different. Taylor, Gilman, Snyder, all those guys are great because they're different. And my style is different. I might take bits and pieces from each guy, but when you see the final product, it's its own form. Same as the guys that came before me.
Rachel.
Looking at just your career from when you started college to where you are now, and reflecting on maybe how you've grown, how you've changed as a wrestler, as a person. You've had some coaching changes as well. How do you think that's impacted you and led you to the successes you're at today?
The way I see the changes, they've been all positive. Obviously, having Mike and my dad around the whole way through is the main thing. Picking up picking up Kellen, Donnie, Gwiz, Frank Pirelli. I haven't even talked about Frank Pirelli and the training lab and what that's done for me with my strength, my conditioning. My body completely changed after working with Frank and Coach Cal. I think, every person, that doesn't mean the guys before me didn't do anything. Kyle, Coach Cole, those guys, I'm going to keep saying it. There's been, all those changes are additions to my life and new people that have guided me down this road. And, sometimes you take a step back and take 2 forward, but it's always forward. And those changes make the road a little bumpy, but at the end of the day, the line's moving up. And I'm so thankful for those people.
Over here to the left.
Yeah, going back to the match itself, you have some history with Sammy, and you guys both share some characteristics. You're scrambling, and you sit that corner on your opponent's shots. You were in those positions a lot in that match, and then that last scramble got really wild at the end, and the match was kind of hanging on the balance there. Can you talk about what you saw from Sammy, if there's anything different, and what you went through in that position, anything in your head that you remember?
I definitely wrestled a little tight. And he wrestled fearless, so credit to him. I knew I was gonna be able to get to the legs. I felt comfortable in the scrambles against him. I felt like I was gonna be able to win those. or at least win more than I'm losing. Obviously, they had a great plan. You know, I'm sure that they spent a lot of time getting ready for this, and you know, it's great. I was able to make it happen. I think, you know, in those positions, you let your training, let your instinct take over, and you know, I've been very well prepared for these matches, and I've been put in those positions 100 times. If you think that's the first time someone put me in a position like that, you know, I was probably there with Vince Cornello last week. So, and it's just the guys in the room get me ready, the coaches get me ready for anything. If you threw a baseball bat from the top of the stands, I probably would have seen it coming.
Great answer, for sure.
Hey, Yianni. Something that I know about you is you have this appetite for learning and constantly studying wrestling and investing and watching wrestling across the world. What drives that, and how does that help you succeed and get to where you are right now?
The big thing is this is what I love. You know, if wrestling made me $5 million, I would love it. If I had to put my life in debt to do this, I would still love it. I think when you love something, you pour your heart into it. And you know, for me, it comes in a technical way. I want to learn everything. I want to know everything. I'm gonna go. I can guarantee I'm gonna go sit in my hotel room tonight and watch that match, and think about what I should be doing. What I did this weekend is far from the best version of myself, and it's far, far, far from what I need to do to be an Olympic champion, world champion. And because of that, you know, even the day I do it, I'm gonna go home in my hotel room and watch the match and be like, what should I have done? And I think when you have that approach to it, you can push your ceiling really high.
Yianni used the word changes a lot, like there's been a lot of changes in your career. Did you need those changes so it did not become routine, that it added more excitement to your life in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time in the room. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And if I want to get better, I need to change. Whether it's been me, my training, my skills with the people around me, change can always be positive or negative depending on what you make of it. And I'm sure that there's a different way that this could have played out where it would have ruined me. But I think if you look at it the right way and you approach it the right way, you can make a good thing out of any change. And you know, you gotta roll with it. Life hits you sometimes.
Okay.
Did you see Vito's match, and what have you learned from him?
I wish. I was getting ready and I just kept hearing screaming and then take down Aruja. And I was trying so hard not to get into it, but I was just like, dude, he is so good. Vito is, he might be the most underappreciated wrestler in America. He's so good. You know, whenever he gets himself on a world team, he's gonna right away be in contention to win. He's so athletic, so skilled, and it's just, you know, he's had some matches not go his way, but when he's firing, I can't imagine him losing. And he was firing, and he wrestled out of his mind from what I was hearing.
While we're talking about Vito, when he was back here celebrating, I was telling some of the coaches, go get Yianni ready, go take care of Yianni. You know, I'm done, my job is done here. How does that feel, you know, that you've got your teammate, he's celebrating himself, but still thinking about you in these moments?
Yeah, I mean, I said this yesterday, but he's just as much family to me as my literal family. I mean, I've known Vito now for 10 years. He's my college roommate. He's my best friend. And we've had our lumps together, we've had our highs together, and I think because we're so close and we spend so much time together, like he knows what this means to me. I know what that meant to him. So I think, and you know, we feel it. If he had lost and I had won, it would have been like a backhanded win. And if it had flipped, he would have felt the same way. So it's good to have us both do it. It doesn't happen often, but when we both do it, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Go right here.
Yeah, Yianni, so there's 5 four-timers now, 2 of them from Cornell. What is it about Cornell that can breed that kind of success? How does one, you know, smaller program like Cornell come up with 2 of the most decorated individuals in history?
I said Vito was the most underappreciated wrestler in the country, and Cornell might be the most underappreciated team and staff in the country. I mean, it doesn't happen on accident. You know, I could tell you what we did to the coaches this weekend, just putting them through the workouts with us, they all should get a huge raise. I mean, we are torturing these guys day and night. They're spending time away from their families. They're not sleeping. They're taking every phone call, doing every, Mike Gray's running to get groceries for us last night at 11 o'clock at night because we asked him for him by the morning, and he was like, I'll have him for you tonight. Kellen's walking around in a knee brace because he got hurt wrestling with us, and he won't take any time off because he knows we need him. Donnie's getting repaired in between matches. Wiz is a training partner. He's an athlete, and he's just taking time out of it to work with us. I mean, I think it's the system, right? These guys, they love us. They pour their heart into us, and we know 100% that they care. When we win, they win. When we lose, they're hurting, sometimes worse than we are. And I think when you have guys that care about you like that, it takes you a really long way. That we know, if I had gone out there and got tech followed and just rolled around the mat like a doofus, it would have broken Mike's heart because he knows what I can do. And he would have been like, why did you do that to yourself? Like they care so much. I think, and it was the same, I think, when Kyle was there. They cared, they really do. And when you have people that care about you like that and are putting their life on hold, putting their quality of life on hold, I'm sure their lives are probably altered forever because of what they're doing for us. It takes guys a really long way, and then pays back. Everyone's putting it back in. I'm never gonna wrestle a college match again, and I'm sure I'm gonna do 500 top and bottom goes come the preseason because I want those guys to win again. And it's just the atmosphere. I've never seen a place like it. That's a long answer.
We're good with Yianni. Do we have one more?
With you not having to compete at the Open, will we see you compete before Final X?
Playing the Pan American Championships. I need that freestyle, and like I said, that's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. So we're happy. That's great. Celebrate tonight. Hug my family. Tomorrow, I'm gonna sit down with Frank and Mike and talk about what I gotta do for the next 7 weeks to win the Pan Ams. The next 13 weeks to make the team. The next 4 or 5 months to be a world champion. And I can't emphasize enough, that's not gonna cut it. And, it's not back to work on Monday, but this is gonna go back to work tonight.
All good for Yianni.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yianni. Congratulations. Appreciate it.